Are you ready?
Hey guys, Bobby Jean here. Just gonna make some veggie stock today with a little bit of beef. And what we do, since we don't have a lot of waste from our vegetables every day and we don't have enough to make every day, we'll put it in a bag and we will freeze it until we do. Things in here like garlic, onions, you can use your tomatoes. I have okra in here, mushrooms, tomatoes, tomato paste. Things you want to try to avoid is leafy greens, broccoli, asparagus, cabbage, kumquats, things like that. Green beans, it can really make your vegetable stock bitter, so you don't want to use that. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it in this pot over here. If you'll come over here, put it into the pot, and then I'm just going to cover it just until the stuff starts to float, and then I'm going to cut it on and let it boil.
Okay, y'all, basically this is just scraps. We have okra stems, okra tips, onion roots, all kinds of stuff.
And I'm going to put my T-bone in here, and the bone, I'm going to put everything in here, bone and the actual bits in there. And there's also herbs from the garden in there, like oregano, thyme, basil, a little bit of Thai basil, amethyst, thyme, things like that. Not a lot because it can overpower your stock, but you know, just to scraps what you've had off, what you brought into the garden and made stuff with. You just don't want to use a lot of your herbs because it can really overpower your stock. And all we're doing again, guys, is putting enough water in there to actually cover your stock.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and let our stock warm up, separate out, and once we get it warm enough to where all that happens, we're going to go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of salt while it's simmering, and then we're going to go ahead and bring it up to a boil, and then after we do that, we'll show you our next step. Okay, so after we brought our stock to a boil, then we dropped it down to simmer. We let it simmer for about somewhere between 30 and 45 minutes. Now that it's cooled, we're going to go ahead and show you the next step, which over here, we're just getting ready to strain it into our bowl, and we'll screen it later. Okay, now you can do this pretty much any way you want. As you can see in that top right hand corner, I also have some tulle that we do use as a screen, but Bobby said that she wants to kind of have it a little more chunky this time with some herbs and stuff like that in there. So you do want to make sure you strain this stuff out, especially for using meat and things of that nature. And again, like I said, this is just garden garbage. This is just scraps that we can't use in our food. Some of it we can't really feed to the chickens because it's got onions in it, things of that nature. But you just want to strain out all that good liquid, and then we're going to take a screen and we're going to sift through that and make sure we get out every chunk of meat. And that's it. The next step, we're just going to fill up our jars and make sure we do leave that 1-inch head space. And I'll shut up and let Bobby tell you the next step in this process.
Okay, now for what we do to save hours, and there's 2 different methods. Pressure canning, and they recommend 25 minutes. We're on 10 pounds of pressure here. 25 minutes for quarts, 20 minutes for pints. And then if you're going to freeze it, you can fill up a freezer bag, 1-inch of head space, and then lay them flat in your freezer to make sure that they don't take up as much room, and then they'll just lay there and freeze, and then you can just use it as is. If they have meat in them, if you don't drain all of the meat out of your jars and it has any kind of meat in there, then it needs to be the recommended 90 minutes just to make sure all the bacteria and stuff is killed off. But just for juice and just for vegetables, which we strained ours pretty good so it doesn't have any chunks of meat in it, it'll be 25 minutes per quart and then 20 minutes per pint.
Alrighty, y'all. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And as always, keep on keeping on. We'll see you on the next one.